Good little group here. Competitors.
So, what are you going to
And you guys do in-body today?
We did it last weekend. That was cool.
Yeah. Did it? Is that your first time doing it?
It's my second time, but I think that one was a little bit more accurate
Cool.
than when I had it done the last time, because this one showed a lot more.
Awesome.
So there's one in the back.
Yeah, the in-body's here.
Okay, good. I need to do mine.
Have you done it at all yet?
Apologize.
No, I'm waiting for my, this is my 30 days, so. I was,
I'm really
I'm the tech guy here, okay? I'm the tech guy.
So.
That's what I'm asking.
Well, before you guys get going, I just wanted to, I know most of you guys have probably met Megan and Matt or seen them, and if not, I encourage you to try to talk to them today and maybe pick their brains a little bit or just introduce yourself. These guys, we've known, when did we meet you guys?
Oh man, literally probably 7-6 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was even before that.
It was like right when we started CrossFit, 2010 or something.
Yeah.
2011.
Yeah, I remember watching Megan compete and just this girl, like with these long legs, crop top, this long, beautiful hair, like all these competitions, just crushing it. I'm like, who is this girl? Turns out it's Megan. But yeah, we've known them for quite a while and have kind of seen these guys, you know, start CrossFit and start training hard and get into it and then open up an affiliate, and now you guys have an amazingly successful affiliate, and they even built their own location, and part of it is also their house, which is amazing. So they've got, I mean, it's really cool. So, but super nice, humble, kind people. So I want you guys to feel that too. They're always a part of our family here, and they used to come work out with us a whole lot a few years ago. So some of you guys maybe have seen these guys quite a bit, but yeah, just want to do a quick little intro so you guys can continue on from there.
And we just want to say thanks for having us, Molly and Tim. We actually our first experience with an actual real CrossFit gym was them guys. We did CrossFit and skaters, didn't really know what the heck we were doing. We kind of just taught ourselves everything. So just YouTubed everything. We would try and like emulate it as best as we could. I'm sure it looked god awful. So then I graduated nursing school. He got a job, and we moved teaching, and then we moved to Taylorville. And then so since I worked in Springfield, I was a member at Molly and Tim's gym, and then that's when I got my real taste of what a real CrossFit affiliate should be like. So we just kind of opened up our affiliate. They're really great mentors of ours, so we just kind of try and do the best that we can and coach people and things like that. But I understand that this is more of like a competitive thing. Like you want me to touch base on like what it's like to be more of a competitive CrossFitter. So I'm going to try and focus on that. If you guys have any questions during this presentation, this is my first one, so bear with me. Just ask, okay? Anytime. You don't have to raise your hand or anything. If you have any questions, like I said, I'll try and do my best to touch as many points as I can, but if I leave something out and you're curious, don't be afraid, just kind of ask.
How old are you guys?
31.
28.
Yeah, I'm an old woman. In the CrossFit world, I should say. In the competitive CrossFit world.
How many years have you made regionals?
I've made regional 6. This will be my 7th open coming up. I've qualified 6 years.
In a row?
Yes.
And Matt, I used to beat this guy.
He still does. He still
No.
beat me.
What was your ranking in the open? Like, do you remember when you first started? Like, what did you get? Like,
I was like, in the open, I was like 600.
600 in
our
region?
region.
In our region, and what'd you get? And then now, obviously it expanded, but.
Yeah, last year I was 300, but the year before that I was like 225.
So it's only gotten harder every year.
Yeah, for sure.
It keeps getting.
So I think
Disadvantage. He's like 6'2". So.
Megan like sent me their stats because I asked so that you guys would have some idea of what type of athletes they are, and I think you were in like the top 2 percentile on performance on the open. It's like, this guy, this is a power couple here. You guys are awesome.
We really just look at ourselves as like normal CrossFitters. The fact that you want me to talk to you, I feel very honored. I feel like I'm just a normal person that just likes doing CrossFit. But anyway, I'll get started. Okay. Enter.
You just click, it should be.
Okay. So some things I want to touch base on are just the movement efficiency, goals, recovery, nutrition, things that you can control to help utilize you in the open, and then just kind of have fun, be tough, you'll see. And then if you guys want to stick around afterwards, Matt and I are going to do some training. You're more than welcome to join us. Okay, so movement efficiency. And I kind of put this up here, but basically you move like poo, you feel like poo much sooner and much, much worse. We all know that, out here. We all know that the open workouts are extremely grueling, and not that the fact that you haven't done the workouts, similar workouts to that before, but it's just the fact that it's the open, and you will go just a little bit harder than what you normally do, so they just it feels like death, basically. So being able to move correctly and efficiently throughout the entire workout is going to help benefit you, especially in those last 2 minutes, those last 10 reps, something like that. You're able to push past that just a little bit longer. And we all know that Molly and Tim stress that, moving correctly, being as efficient as possible in your movements, it's definitely going to pay off in the open workouts. So I will say my next point is equipment and gear. This is like one of my biggest pet peeves, and for my members, I like yell at them all the time about this. And there are still some people that will do this, and I almost feel like they do it just to get under my skin. But so say you you have your you got your wrist straps, your belts, your knee sleeves, your gymnastic grips. That's all good as long as it's not hindering you inside of your workout. If you are constantly fiddling with your grips, your knee sleeves, your weight belt, you're having to take it on and off, that's just more time you're wasting that you could be getting more reps, you could be getting a faster time. So my advice is, if you are constantly messing with that, or it's more of a hindrance than a benefit, okay? So like I have one member in particular, and this drives me crazy. She will put her gymnastic grips on, do her pull-ups or her total bar, take her gymnastic grips off, walk over to a bar, do her barbell movement, come back, put her gymnastic grips on, do that. That's just way too much time, okay? Especially during the open, and if you want to get as many reps as you can, and that could be a course of, 5 reps even, that could be 100 spots. So just utilizing your time efficiently. I would say try to use as less gear as you can. Now, obviously, gymnastic grips are pretty important, as long as you're just not messing with it the whole time. That's just a waste of time. Let's see. Okay, next is going to be the setup, and this kind of goes again with just being efficient and using your space adequately. So like say you have pull-ups and you have a rower, so you're going to want to kind of set up your setup that you can move kind of in a flow, so that way you're not walking across the gym or taking 30 seconds to get from one thing to another. You want to be able to get done with whatever movement you're doing, maybe take a step, continue that other movement. So you want to make sure you have a nice little flow. Again, every single second like that counts, and it can pay off dividends in your placing in the open.
Do you practice that throughout the year?
Absolutely.
Is that something that you're kind of like thinking about while you guys are
Yeah,
doing workouts?
for sure. Like I'll ask Megan like how she set it up.
Yes.
And then I'll try to like maybe do the same thing, or I'll even change it just a little bit to see if it'll help me out. Like I'll even put the rower at a little bit of an angle just to see if that will help a little bit. Like it's just weird stuff that you try to do to just make your time just a little bit faster.
Yeah.
And we do test workouts and we repeat workouts. We do cycles, so like usually 6 weeks we'll have a test week, and then 6 weeks later we'll retest workouts. And sometimes it's not that we really got fitter in the 6 weeks, which I mean most of the time we did, but we also have a little bit better game plan going into that workout. We set up our equipment a little bit better to where we're actually able to improve our times drastically.
Yeah.
So.
Strategy is huge in the open, so just knowing yourself there will really help. And that brings me to the point with the rower. If it's a short row like that, my advice is to, for your feet, like pick out like foot straps that like you don't have to tighten and loosen to get in and out. Something that you can slip your foot right in and right out without having to tighten it up or loosen it up. Because I mean, you know, all like, oh my God, my foot's stuck, you know how frustrating that can be in a workout. So if it's like a shorter row, so let's say it's just like, you know, like a 200-meter row, or maybe it's only 20 calories or something like that. Just, you don't really need to have a really tight foot. You're still going to drive through your heels. Your foot's going to stay in the strap. Pick like a good tightness to where you can kind of slip it in and slip it right out. And that, I think that saves some time as well. And then I can't stress this enough. You should know yourself. I mean, like I was saying, strategy is pretty big. So what works for me is definitely not going to work for Matt. So we're similar, but we're different in a lot of ways. So you've been doing CrossFit long enough. You can kind of know, okay, this is a really strong movement for me. I'm going to, you know, maybe do touch and go here. No, this isn't so strong, but the next movement is. So I'm maybe going to do singles on the barbell and then knock out a big gymnastic movement. So just knowing yourself before you go into a workout is going to be huge. I will say strategy is a lot. So let's say you go out the gate way too hard. And you maybe hold on just a little too long, and then you kind of crash and burn in the end. The good thing about the open, if you do it on Friday, you can do it again on Monday. So, yeah, that's got anything to add about?
Yeah, and you try to learn yourself through your training.
Yeah.
And that way, whenever you get to the open, you know that, okay, if I try to hit a 10 total bar, it's going to destroy me later in the later rounds. So I need to probably break that up from the beginning. So.
For sure. Next slide. Okay, goals. So I think mostly everybody's goal is to do better than last year with their placement in the open. So you want to pick tangible and non-tangible goals. So, or not, you want to avoid the non-tangible. You want to pick something that you're able to actually have a chance of obtaining. So whether or not that's, I want to improve, 20 spots, or I want to get into I was top 300 and I want to get in the top, 150 or 200 this year. Pick something that you can attain. That way when you accomplish it, it feels good and you're not just constantly beating yourself up mentally. Gonna have to be willing to suffer if you really want to make that top 20. Pretty much the pool is so competitive, odds are you're gonna have to do the workouts twice. And I would say unless you're probably one of those top, 5 or 8, and you're just going to make it to the next level, the next regionals, then you just need to do them once and keep training for that. But most of us, we just never know what workout's going to be next, and you're probably going to have to do them twice. Even if you do 1 rep better, like I said before, that could be 100 places, or that could be 50 spots. Something like that, to try to set yourself up as best as you can for the following weeks, because we just never know what's going to be thrown at us.
Do you guys know how many people are in our region, male and female, like that you're going up against?
I think last year was like 10,000 something.
10,000 women that you're against?
And there's more men.
Looks like there's
15,000 men.
Yeah.
And that's just regional, that's not worldwide.
Yeah, so I mean, with that many people doing the open, that 1 rep can set you up 200 spots. So it makes a huge difference. And then does your lifestyle match your goal? So if your goal is to make, top 20, you got to make sure your lifestyle matches that. So and for example, like, making things priority, like recovery, nutrition, sleep, you're not going out on the weekends, you're avoiding alcohol, you're just doing everything in your power to set yourself up for next week's training to be in the best possible condition that you can be, okay? What you do outside of the gym is pretty much just as important, if not more important, than what you do inside of the gym. And that kind of brings me to my next point. Well, my next few slides, actually. Recovery. So, this should definitely be a priority. If you're a competitive CrossFitter, you kind of put your body through a lot of stress. And as the sport is evolving, the demands on the body are just getting greater and greater. So diet, sleep, hydration, things like that you can do outside of the gym are going to be super important. So anything to add about that?
What do you guys have, like a certain style or diet you recommend, or hydration you recommend, or when you're talking about recovery, what are some details that, sleep, like what's
I do have a nutrition slide, so I'm going to go in a little bit more in depth here in a second, but I will say that is probably one of the most important things as far as aiding in your training is your nutrition and feeding your body correctly. And like I said, I'll probably go in a little more depth than that, but like hydration is huge. I will say sleep is huge. If you aren't making sleep a priority, whether or not that's like making sure, okay, I'm not going to watch that TV show because I need to go to bed, okay? I need to get 8 hours of sleep so that I know my body can heal, and I'm ready to go for the next day. And just things like that, small little things like that you don't realize will help you prepare. It's all really what you're wanting to do is just prepare your body for the next day so it's ready to go for, that intense workout. Having a proper cool down is huge, I will say. Like when you get done working out, your body kind of goes through all this stress. And if you say, oh, I'm out, I'm going to go and sit in the car, drive home, sit in my butt, eat dinner, go to bed, you probably didn't give your body the correct cool down or deload that it needed to come off such a high intense workout. We have a lot of things that go on systemically that if we just hop on a bike for 20 minutes, even mentally, just kind of bring ourselves back down because you were up so high. Now we need to bring ourselves down. It kind of flushes out some things. Things go happen, pathologically that I can't really explain, but I just know it helps. Stretching, ROMWOD, if you're into that.
What's ROMWOD for those who don't know?
So ROMWOD is like pretty much like, I call it CrossFit yoga kind of thing. So you can do a monthly subscription, and they have like every single day they have like a new workout, or it's not really. I mean, it kind of feels like a workout sometimes, but basically it's a lot of stretching and mobility, things like where you hold a stretch for, it could be 5 minutes at a time. And it actually kind of it works on breathing some of it, so kind of mentally kind of get some clarity there as well. So it's just like I said, I like to call it CrossFit yoga.
Yoga routine.
Yeah.
That you can watch and perform with people on the screen.
Yeah, it's really beneficial, especially if you have any type of tightness or anything like that.
Do you do active recovery, like
I try.
Is that what Mike?
Yeah, we rest
Not that
2 days
program,
a week,
but it's
so
similar.
one of those days I don't do anything just to give myself a break from the gym, and that's usually the day that I'm food prepping and things like that, and I'm doing all the adult stuff that we need to do. And then one day we'll do like an active recovery, whether that's like a 40-minute row, bike, stretching. Sometimes I get bored with that. I'll make like a little AMRAP up, but it's usually really like all body weight movements. I'm not like pushing my body past, I can carry on a conversation while I'm doing it. And it tends to make the time go by faster for me. And that just kind of helps flush out some of that ickiness. And sometimes I feel better the next day than the days that I take a complete rest day.
You guys, real quick, do you guys use like TINS units, power dots, like the recovery boots? Like, do you guys get that into it too? Like, do you believe in that stuff?
I mean, I think, yeah, it works if you, no, I don't use it as much as probably I should use it. I will say, I have a complex unit. I haven't even opened it. So, but everybody's different in that regard. If you really believe that that's going to help you, your mind is a powerful thing. If that's what's going to, if you really believe that's what's helping you, then do it. So I feel like more than anything, that cool down after you work out, stretching, and that ROMWOD or that mobility is probably a little bit more important than that. However, that kind of brings me to my next point of like, say you have like a nagging shoulder. We all kind of have our own little issues that go on. I've had 2 knee surgeries, so I got some crappy knees. So like I know that I will spend some time making sure my hips are stretched out, voodoo flossing my knees, things like that. So like whatever works for you, if you have like a nagging shoulder, like I was saying, and you need to hit those boots or that complex or anything like that, you want to stay on top of that stuff. Okay, so you don't want it to get to where you're kind of reacting to the situation. You want to kind of be proactive about it and just keep staying on top of it. That way, you know, when that next week comes around, your body's ready and prepared. And I kind of already said that before. Things you do outside of the gym are just as important, if not more important. So just things like that. Nutrition. Okay. So this is, like I was saying before, this is probably one of the most important things you can do to set yourself up for success inside the gym. I am huge on macros and micros, so I think if you want to be a competitive CrossFitter, you have to track your food. You track your workouts, now you have to track your food. So you know what you're putting out in your workout, you need to know what you need to put it back in order for it to be prepared for the next workout, or just refueling your body, whatever your goals are. So you want to be able to know how much you're taking in and make sure you're taking in enough. I cannot stress that enough. Your food is your fuel. So you got to feed the machine. So I'm big on carbohydrates now. So lots and lots and lots. If you're going to put the intensity, if you're spending 3 hours in the gym, you need to put back what you put in. So lots of carbohydrates. And I'm not saying go smash a pizza or Pop-Tarts or things like that every night. I mean, once every now and then is okay, but main sources of fuel that like we utilize are rice and oats and potatoes, whole grain bread, things like that. You want to make sure you're getting in enough carbohydrates, and if you don't know how much you need, you probably need to figure that out. So like that brings me to my next point of I don't really think paleo or Whole30 or the please no keto diet if you're doing competitive CrossFit, or even long periods of fasting. It's just not going to help sustain what you need to do in the gym. Now like for longevity purposes, completely fantastic. It's a low inflammatory type of diet, but in order to prepare your body for the demands that you put on it, you need to be able to fuel it. Okay, there's a whole thing called, I don't know if it's really adrenal fatigue, but it's things like that. If you're not properly putting back in what you put out, then your body will suffer. So I actually have a nutrition coach now because a few months ago I was experiencing like mid-work. I've always been one, I love training. So like I would get done with a piece, I'd be excited about the next piece. Get done with that piece, be excited about the next one. And I would notice that like halfway through my training day, I would just crash and burn. I could literally have sat down and like just instantly fallen asleep. Like I just had no go, I should say. So I contacted a nutrition coach, and she basically said I was like probably starting to get a little bit of that adrenal fatigue and things like that. So I was having a bunch of hormonal issues, just not feeling like myself. I was putting on weight and I didn't know why, so I would try to cut back a little bit more, which was the complete opposite of what I should have been doing. I was eating, and I know this probably seems like a lot for some, but I was eating less than 200 grams of carbs a day, but now I'm eating over 300 grams of carbs a day, and then I also get frequent refeeds. The instant I changed that up, I dropped 6 pounds. I have energy again. My hormones are back on track. So basically I was able to sustain my intensity I was able to fuel it with my food. I just was not eating enough food, and everything was affected from it. Any questions about that?
So what are your target macros?
Mine are 155 protein, 75 fat, and then 310 of carbs, but they continue to go up every week. So I have a consult with my nutrition coach every 10 days, and and I started this 3 months ago, would you say?
Yeah,
Maybe?
probably 3. before?
I started at 230 grams of carbs, and every week she's increased it. So she's like, we're gonna keep increasing it every. So I'm still on the lower end of where I need to be. Now, granted, I work out, 1 to 4 every day, so my body is using those carbs. Everybody's gonna be a little bit obviously different depending on the demands that you put into the gym and your lifestyle outside of the gym. And nutrient timing is big here too. So like, let's say you work out at noon. So let's say an hour before, you need to probably be consuming, at least 30 grams of carbs and maybe 20 grams of protein. Before then, low fat during that time. Then you work out. If you work out longer than an hour and a half, you need to have some intra carbs too. I like to do Gatorade powder just because I can drink. I don't want to stop and eat. That just doesn't sound good to me. So I'll put Gatorade powder in my aminos, just intra workout. And then that helps kind of sustain my energy. And then post-workout is huge. This is where you're going to get the most bang for your buck. I need 70 grams of carbs post-workout and then 20 grams of protein. He needs probably upwards of like 100, 120 post-workout. So, and it needs to be high glycemic carbs. So whether that's white rice, maybe some bread. And I know you don't want me to say this, but Swedish fish, sugar, just to get that nice little insulin spike so you can fill up your muscles back with that glycogen that you just completely depleted.
So you don't cut sugar out completely from your diet?
No, I don't.
Just keep
Well,
in
you look
mind.
fantastic, so.
Well, but think too, like when we come into class, board time, cool down time, like our workouts are maybe 40, 50 minutes. She's training 3 hours, and these pieces are regional workout level. So if you think you did like a class workout one day, what do you think? What would you say then? Like
post-workout, 20 to 30 grams of carbs.
Mm-hmm.
And I would definitely get it from maybe rice or oatmeal. I eat a lot of oatmeal, and I will say I do eat sugar, but I have a certain, I'm not supposed to exceed a certain amount. I also have a fiber goal I have to hit every day to make sure I'm eating enough vegetables. And I have to keep my sugar under a certain amount, which I don't eat a lot of sugar anyway, so, but I don't cut it out completely, no. That, I did say that. So that brings me to the micro point too. So obviously, if you fuel your body with the right stuff, so you do want to eat lots of vegetables. You do want to, try to get your carbohydrates from whole sources and not a bunch of processed crap, because that is crap you're putting in your body. Yeah, you can reach aesthetically what you want to look like doing that as long as you fit in your macros, but you're not going to feel the greatest on that as well. So you still need to be eating lots of vegetables. I would say every single day I probably eat upwards of 6 different vegetables every day, and that's minimum. So my breakfast alone probably has 4 different kinds of vegetables in it. So you still need to eat those. There's a lot of nutrients in it that you're going to benefit from. Anything on nutrition? He's also seen a lot of improvement just by adding in more food too. He was kind of having that same problem that I was having, and not that we did it on purpose, we just didn't know any better. So if you ever have any issues with that, don't be afraid to reach out to somebody, and get help with that, because it is an investment, but I will say it's probably the best money you'll ever spend, for sure.
Yeah, I'll probably put in 1,000 more calories in my diet and haven't gained a pound.
No, you lost.
I've lost weight, yeah.
Yeah, when you fuel it properly.
Are you eating 3 big meals throughout the day and snacking in between? Or
So I know my coach, she just kind of says whatever is try to be consistent with that. So whether or not, everybody's lifestyle is different. So whether or not, if say you work and you can't snack, it's just hard for you to snack. And you eat 3 meals a day, then you eat 3 meals a day, but you still need to hit your numbers in those 3 meals a day. Say you eat 10 times a day, that's fine too, just as long as you try and eat 10 times a day, hit your carbs, just stay consistent with what you can do, because then you'll probably be able to maintain it for longer. So it's just, that's kind of whatever works best for your lifestyle. Now I will say that nutrient timing though, with the carbs pre and post workout, is going to be a game changer for you guys if you try it out. I will say there's days the blog that we follow, our competitive blog, everyone's like, I'm wrecked, I'm so wrecked, and I'm like, I feel great, I feel fantastic. So it makes you feel good too when you have that. Okay. My next point is going to be things that you can control. So I understand life happens, you know, things happen in your life that are out of your control, you know, illnesses in the family, your job's stressful, things like that, that's out of your control. So this makes things that you can control so much more important. So that would be like your nutrition and hydration that we touched on. Those are things that you can control, so you control those. Your sleep, you know, making the good decisions, turn off the TV, set yourself up for success. Stress management. Now this is different for everybody. Everybody handles stress differently. So that could be, you know, taking a long walk, meditation, getting a massage, acupuncture, whatever works best for you. I will say just try to make it a routine. During the open, I kind of have a routine that like the Thursday, so usually I will do the workouts Fridays and Mondays. So the Thursday, the day before, I like to like hop on a bike for 20 minutes, and then I will put headphones in and then I will have, nobody can be around me at this time because this is my time. And usually nobody's at the gym anyway, so I don't have a problem with that. So, but try to have no disturbances and just try to think about kind of like what, we don't know the workout yet, but I always just try to think about like what is expected of me the next day. So like whether or not that's just me giving myself a pep talk, or like saying, you know, just reminding myself I have done everything in my power up until this point to prepare. And that just gives me comfort, knowing that I've worked so hard to get to this point that now I can just have fun and it's just another workout. And I'm gonna do everything I can to do the best that I can. For me, mentally, that helps calm me down, and I just kind of talk myself down because I get really stressed out during this time of year. Do you have any routines
No,
for that?
no, I'm not like her. That's probably why she's the 6-time regional athlete. No, I'll bike and I'll listen to music, but I probably don't go in the depth that she goes. So.
Your brain is a powerful thing, so the way that you look and perceive things, it can make a huge difference on the outcome. So say you know the workout, if you look at it as like, oh, this is going to be so painful, I'm going to hate every second of it, you're probably not going to have a great outcome. If you look at it as like, I have worked so hard up until this point, I've prepared my body as the best that I can. Yes, it's not going to be comfortable, but I'm ready for it and I'm prepared for it. I've put my body in that situation before. It just makes it a little bit more easy and not as painful just because you're prepared for it whenever it comes. So that has helped me out tremendously. I also like to read a good book during that time, whether it's like an inspirational book. That just kind of helps reset my mind a little bit. But that's just me. Everybody's different. This kind of, and then recovery, you know, attitude, I kind of talked about that. And again, does your lifestyle match your goals? So are you doing everything you can outside of the gym to prepare yourself? And then I just have fun and be tough. So you've worked all year for this. Now it's time to just kind of see where you're at. It's a good test every year that we get to do. We get to kind of see ourselves stack up against the whole world, which you don't ever get to do otherwise. So do enjoy it. Do the best that you can. I mean, that's all you can do. And then, any questions? Let's work out.
I've got some questions.
Yeah.
So maybe for the people who aren't doing the open or don't do competitions or anything like that, like what, to maximize their class training, like what pieces of advice would you have, or is it the same, or?
I will say I would use, like, when you come in to work out, this is your time. And don't feel bad about it. So like, I know I have a lot of like, it seems like more moms that will come in and be like, oh, you know, this is my time, but I felt bad because, you know, I had to leave my kids, or I don't know, something like that. But this is making you honestly a better person if you think about it. If you can, if you're helping yourself feel better about yourself, it's probably going to improve every other aspect that you have in your life. So utilize your time wisely. When you come in, you know, be attentive, you know, attack each piece the best that you can, and just do the best that you can. Try not to half-ass it, you know, that things like that. You're going to put in you're going to get out what you put in. I always say that to my members. So just, utilize your time wisely. Just because you, like, say I work out 3 hours and most people work out 1 hour, volume isn't everything. As long as you put the intensity into one piece per day, you're going to get the results that you desire.
Yeah, that's good.
What mistakes have you guys made that you now can see as like, you learned so much from maybe in your training or nutrition? Is there something that you're like, man, I can't believe we did that, but now we know so much more now because of that? Was there something comes to mind?
Lots of stuff, probably. Yeah. Nutrition, huge. That's probably the biggest thing. Just thinking that you had, you just didn't understand how much you actually need to fuel your body to perform, and you think that, oh, I may look a certain way, I need to look like this to perform better, but that's not necessarily the case. Everyone's different. Everyone performs optimally at different percent body fats and things like that. So you just got to find what works best for you, and you can't keep on chasing what other people are doing. You got to worry about yourself. So the nutrition would be the thing that I would say that I've made the biggest mistake on. Like, I wish I could go back to when I first started, and like, because this past 4 months of us having this, my times have just dropped drastically. My recovery's improved a ton, and all this other stuff.
So eating more and the quality, obviously.
Yeah,
But, yeah.
we eat well.
So you eat well and you eat more.
Yes.
And mainly carbohydrate.
No, I mean,
Or is
yeah,
it-
our diet's probably 50% carbohydrates, just because of the intensity that we put in. But yeah, definitely quality too. I mean, we used to do a stupid thing called carb backloading, and I don't know why we did that, but we thought it would help us, so we did it. If you're gonna tell us like, oh, it's gonna help you, I'll probably I don't really ask a lot of questions. I don't try to make excuses. If I feel like you're an expert and you know what you're talking about, I'm gonna believe you and I'm gonna do it. So I'm like a no questions asked, just do what you're told type of thing. I would say the next thing about that too, what we've learned, and don't be afraid to scale a workout when it's needed. So even myself included, regional athlete, if I know I'm not going to be able to put the intensity in that's desired of me or required of me or what's going to be best for me, I will definitely scale a workout to my needs. So don't be too prideful to scale when it's needed. And whether or not that's cutting the reps back or the weight back, intensity is king. So whatever you can keep the intensity up there, learning a lot there.
Volume included, so there's normally we do 4 or 5 different things.
Sometimes 4.
Three,
probably.
sometimes 4 things. It's okay just to do 2 things as long as you're putting that 100% intensity into it. If you're going to add one more thing, but your intensity level is going to drop drastically, you might as well not even do it. You're not getting what you need to get out of it. So volume isn't necessarily everything. It's intensity. So make sure you can put the intensity in before you add more volume.
And I will say, as I've gotten older, that's been huge. Our programming, sometimes it has, say, pick 1 or pick 2, as an extra piece. And I used to do all of them, okay? As I've gotten older, my body's no. So I will only do the pick 1 or the pick 2 and just put everything I have into that. And that's been so helpful. So.
Does Misfit program 100% of your training, or do you guys kind of do something?
100%. So we do not venture out of Misfits. So that's actually a good question, because that's another thing that I see is people cherry picking workouts from different programs. If you're not going to follow your gym's affiliate and say you're going to do if they don't provide a competitive programming, pick one and stick with it. Don't jump around to comp train, Misfits, think tank, whatever. I don't know what it is. Pick one program and just stick with it, because if you jump around, odds are you're probably just picking the workouts you like to do instead of the workouts you need to do. So no, yeah, we don't venture.
There'll be times that you'll do strict muscle ups or some sort of skill.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
not a part of the program.
Yeah, maybe I'll add in a weak thing that I'm bad at that I'll do, mostly it's strict gymnastics, but I'm not picking a whole nother workout or anything like that from a different program.
Say you get super sore from a workout, and then the next day, the next workout would work kind of similar muscles. Would you take a break, or would it be safe to go all out even though you're super sore?
We just do it.
Yeah. Just do it. Now, I will say, like, if you're sore and you think it's potentially going to set you up for an injury, obviously, then you either scale it back or just do something a little bit different. Or say, like, you did have an injury and that part is really, really sore and you're recently coming back, then yeah, definitely be smart about it. But yeah, we just do it because they tend to do that a lot. It seems like sometimes, like there was this last week, like you could either do 16.1 and then they had like, which is a lot of chest to bars, and then like the next day they had like.
It was a lot of lunges, 16, or was it 17.1?
16.1.
Okay.
You did 16.1, the 20-minute AMRAP.
Yeah, the lunges.
And it had chest to bars
Yeah.
in it, and things like that. And then like the next day it had like a interval piece of 5 rounds of a 400-meter run.
It was 3 rounds.
3 rounds and 40 chest to bars. Like, so it's just like a lot of pulling. Like I had regional Nate, and then I had legless rope climbs, and then I had muscle up interval, like within the span of 3 days. So yeah, you just kind of have to do it if you're healthy. If you're healthy and you don't think you're going to get injured.
Do you guys think, just because I know we have a lot of like business professionals in here, for people who can only make it to class and don't even have time to like come in to open gym and do a skill set or anything like that, do you think it's possible to be really competitive and only be able to like come into your gym's classes?
Oh, that's a good question.
I think that you might have to get some equipment for home, like a rower or a bike or some sort of machine like that, and we do what we call bitch work, which is basically you just on the bike doing interval things that suck. But it's stuff that I mean,
yeah, it's not fun.
It's terrible,
It's
but
dreadful.
it definitely
It's necessary.
Yeah, it makes
That's
you
in
a lot
addition
better.
to the 3 hours at the gym?
Well,
No,
this
that's
is
usually
just
included in ours. She's saying like if you only had 1 hour to dedicate and only do 1 workout a day, if you could still be competitive, then maybe like, yeah, get some equipment for your home and like maybe hit that extra piece before bed. Well, and maybe bright early in the morning. Sometimes if people work out before bed, they can't go to sleep. But just to hit 1 extra piece, then if you have really good genetics, maybe. Just it's really all dependent. Like probably in just being like super strict outside of the gym as far as diet and sleep and hydration and things like that. I hate to say nothing's impossible, I hate to say that. So it's just going to be very difficult.
Like Spieler and
Valerie overall.
Yeah.
Valley.
Yeah.
An hour a
They
day.
just did like 1 hour a day. Of course, they had a big baseline days before that. But
I will say they tell us 1 hour a day, but is that 1 hour total, or is that like 1 hour of them doing their strength piece, hitting up a metabolic conditioning piece, and then because you could get that in an hour, and maybe that didn't include their warm up or their cool down, things like that. I would like to see if it's truly just an hour and that's all. They're just hitting 1 metabolic, like 1 metcon a day. I don't know if I feel like they probably do one more thing.
Max supposedly does just a class workout at
I see
Misfits.
them all the time doing other stuff.
Yeah. Other stuff, yeah.
what do you guys take a pre-workout?
I do aminos.
What are aminos, if people don't know?
Just like branched chain amino acids. So I just do like one scoop of that just to help. Also helps me stay hydrated throughout my workout because otherwise I won't drink water. And that's pretty much all I do. Don't ask me why. That's just what I do. It tastes good, and my coach says it's okay.
Creatine?
Yes, I do. Yes, creatine we do. I would say that's probably one of the most important supplements. Is creatine and just a whey. I just do an isolate, so I don't do a whole lot of supplements. I do a fish oil, and then just aminos or intro workout, and then the creatine, and then a scoop of whey. Other than that, I get it all from my food.
Can you give examples of your lunches?
My lunches are, I work out during that time, so like I'll have a pretty decent breakfast where it's like, 2 pieces of toast, an egg white, 40 grams or a whole egg, 40 grams of eggs, 30 grams of ground turkey, 5 ounces of peppers, 60 grams of mushrooms, an ounce of spinach or arugula, and then I'll do a teaspoon of coconut oil, and then I have that for breakfast. I feel like I'm missing something. What else did I have?
Coffee.
Oh, coffee, of course. That's a given. And then and then I'll probably do like an oat mega bar in between there, like in the 2 hours or something like that. And then I'll have 40 grams of oats, and then 3/4 of a scoop of whey an hour before I work out. And then I work out, and then usually I do my aminos, and then intra workout I'll do about a tablespoon of Gatorade, about an hour and a half into it, and then post workout I do 70 grams of carbs, 20 grams of protein, and that could come from honey, maybe a bagel. Just so you want really low fat, high glycemic type carbs right after you work out. And then I'll have another snack while I'm between coaching classes, and that could be like turkey breast and broccoli, and then I'll have dinner. And then a nighttime snack. I eat a lot of food. Yeah, lots of food. His lunches.
My lunch have 5 ounces of chicken breast and 7 ounces of sweet potato and 5 ounces of green beans.
Yeah.
You can tell they weigh and measure, right?
That's my lunch. Breakfast is Kodiak pancakes, serving of that. 2 eggs, 4 pieces of bacon. I'll put butter on my pancake, and then like sugar-free syrup on my pancake. And then sometimes I'll do toast. Not all the time, just depends if I have time.
He doesn't eat as much vegetables as I do.
Most of my vegetables come
At lunch.
lunch and then dinner.
Dinner, yeah.
Yeah, whenever she cooks it. She's a food prep. I'm the gym cleaner.
Only the floor.
Oh,
He does not clean the bathrooms. I do.
Awesome.
Do you do any like prep meals like Ice Age or whatever?
No, I don't. I prep everything on Sunday. Sunday's like all day. Like it's like chicken breast, broccoli. I always have food prepared. So, and I will also go ahead and chop my veggies up so that they are readily available to eat. And I feel like that's really helpful, because if you have to think about, oh, I gotta get it out, I gotta clean it, I gotta chop it up, I feel like you're more apt to probably grab something bad than that. So yeah, I'll go ahead and chop up all my peppers, Brussels sprouts, everything. And we eat a lot of the same meals, I feel like, every week, but lots of food. Our fridge is completely full on Sunday, completely empty on Friday.
How do you guys treat your sleep? I know that's a big issue for a lot of people, or our members, is getting quality and enough sleep.
I sleep pretty good. I have never really had trouble sleeping, but I always make sure I'm in bed by 9 o'clock. So whether or not like a good TV show, which we don't have cable, so I will, no matter what, I usually get all my stuff done, and the clock hits 9, I am in bed, lights are out, we don't have a TV in our room, it's completely black, I'm not on my phone, things like that. So, because I know some of those lights can affect your your eyes, and it's hard for you to kind of calm down before you go to bed. Some people, like, if you need because I do have some members that have trouble sleeping, so if you just try to keep a routine, so whether or not it's like you're reading right before bed, or you're making sure you're in bed by this time no matter what, you're not getting stuck doing a task, you just need to make it a priority. So you need to just stop and try to, every single night, try and be in bed at the same time. And even I would say on the weekends, like, even though if you have to, like you say, I get to sleep in, your body kind of naturally does what it's used to, so still going to bed at 9 o'clock. You can't really catch up on sleep in a night or 2 nights. So just trying to go to bed at the same time every single night is really going to be helpful.
Great. Other questions? Anything? Okay. Well, let's give them a hand. Thanks for doing this, guys.
You guys are working out now?
If you don't mind.
Of course, we can watch you.
We got